Thanks to the grace of heaven, thank to virtuous masters, grand predecessor and predecessor, and thank to the compassion of the transmitters, and thank to everyone here for giving me the opportunity to speak about today's topic, merits and blessings. So, merits, blessing, merits, in Chinese is 功德, and blessing can be translated as 祝福, 保佑, 护佑, so depending how you use it. By definition, merits means the quality of being particularly good or worthy, especially so as to deserve praise or rewards, a praiseworthy quality such as virtue. So let me go back. I forgot to mention that I couldn't figure out like what to say about this topic at first, because I don't think that I would have any merit to talk about, and there isn't any merit to share, because unlike the Buddhas, saints, and sages, they have countless of merits. We say merits because merits are commonly known as something that is accumulated good deeds by helping sentient beings. And sentient beings are not limited to humans, but also to animals and living beings. Okay. So virtue is a behavior showing high moral standards. Common example of moral standards are tell the truth, do not cheat, respect our lives and the lives of others, be generous, be loyal, to live according to the rules of society, do not envy, altruism, it's the opposite of egoism, to live according to the will of God, do not do to others what we would not like them to do to us. Wait. It's possible. So, do we really have merits? What and where are the high moral standards come from? And how can one work on their virtue? So, John F. Kennedy's powerful message that was made in 1961, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. He challenged every American to contribute in some way to the public good. And Confucius' teaching in The Great Learning illustrates the principles of the 3 guidelines and the 8 articles to the key to world harmony. I have to say, by coincidence, my presentation has a lot of in common, well, some overlap with the last class, Lecture Kai's presentation. Okay, so anyway, like we already heard from the last class about the 3 guidelines, 明明德, right? First one is 明德. The first mean is to reveal. The second half, right, to manifest. And 明德, the second mean is to it's a manifestation, which is the it's our true nature. So we truly cultivate, and well, to reveal true nature and truly cultivate. And then 心明, right, is before we can tell all this, we need to become that new self, which is 心明, a new self, and then let others know about their true self, which is 清明, right? And then third one is 止于至善. Our actions will be resting in the highest excellence, which is
the literal translation.
Exactly. But I added which is in accordance to our true nature. Okay. And then there's this 8 articles, so a lot of repeats, but of course it has more detail in the first class. So the 8 articles are also called 内圣外王, and the first 4 has to do with internal cultivation, The first we already know is 格物, right? 格物, right? Okay, here I jumped around. Right. Okay, so very importantly, lecture Liu has stressed so much about 格物, right? 格物, I put down as a separate away objects. It means to let go all attachments, mentally and physically. Basically, do not give rise to a single thought. At this stage, your heart and mind, heart or mind, is tranquil, peaceful, still, serene, undisturbed, unperturbed, and imperturbable. Okay. So, right. So 格物 is separate objects, all right, and then 自知, right, and then okay, so 自知 is the ultimate wisdom is attained, and then after you know that you have that true nature, the existence of true nature, your heart becomes pure and upright, and then of course you also become sincere. Again, the first four has to do with internal cultivation, right? And then the next four, 身修家齐国治平天下, that's 外王. 外王 is, of course, after you're internally cultivated, you naturally know how to manifest the how do you call it? The traits, like the quality of your true nature. So 身修 naturally one cultivates one's own virtue conduct. Right, 家齐 is one regulates and manages his family. Then once you know how, once the family is regulated and managed, and you could manage the state, then able to govern one's country well. Then the world, and of course the world becomes peace and harmonious. Okay, so you see, this is by coincidence. Okay. So as a cultivator, we want to have virtue like Buddha, saints, and sages, such as the four immeasurable minds, right? We know the 慈悲喜舍, right here, the infinite loving kindness, the boundless compassion, boundless happy joy, special to rejoice in the welfare of others, right? And then the infinite equanimity or relinquishment. A little bit of review. Okay, so unlike the immeasurable minds, typically we pick and choose what benefits us the most before performing the services. We don't know any better how true virtue comes about and how the four immeasurable minds that we have within, like Buddhas. The word merit, again mentioned in the first slides, in Mandarin Chinese it's called 功德, right? And our six patriarchs said, 见性是功, right? 平等是德. So 见性是功 is realization of one's Buddha nature, is meritorious service. 平等是德, right? Equanimity or fairness is the virtue. If you look it up, equanimity, the animus means the mind or spirit. So a literal translation is even mind. Okay, you can kind of get it right there. So in the Buddha nature perspective, meritorious service is the realization of one's Buddha nature, which involves one's understanding and realization of the differences between human mind or human heart and Bodhi mind or Bodhi heart. 明心见性. Why 见性是功? Why? This way, one's action will be in accordance to the Buddha nature. Once again, Lecture Liu stressed it. If it is so, one will not be in the cycle of reincarnation. Everything one does is not biased, non-dualistic, and non-self-beneficial, at least not intentionally. Conversely, we are accustomed to the six roots, or the five senses and the conscious mind, and giving them the power to make decisions. Human mind or human heart is based on the 6 roots: eyes, ears, nose, mouth, body, mind. The human mind or the human heart arises when the 6 roots meet or align with the 6 defilements or the environments, such as the form, sound, smell, taste, touch, and dharma. So it right here it's saying 6根对6尘产生6识. Okay. Eyes like to see beautiful things, such as colors, shapes, size. Ears like to listen to beautiful sounds, beautiful music. Nose likes to smell good scents. Mouth likes to eat tasty food and speak whatever it wants to. Body likes to feel the touch of silk, is sense of touch. Our mind likes to wander the past, present, and future. As a result, we dwell on them, the forms, consciously or unconsciously, and can't let them go. We're stuck in the memories, either good or bad, and earthly learned knowledge. So we're stuck in the memory and learned knowledge in the conscious mind, in the alaya, right? And they become the roadblock to the path of the Buddhahood. All the delusional and wandering thoughts, desires, and attachments are the cause to greed, anger, and stubbornness or ignorance. They are what's stopping us from becoming like a Buddha. What we are experiencing is an illusion because they are temporary, not permanent. Let's say if you drop a favorite cup on the floor, would you still be in favor of that cup? Right? The point is that the like, right, is no longer there. The human mind, the human heart can change, depends on all phenomenal conditions. Right? So where does that likeness go? Right. So, yeah.
So it depends on the conditions. You get it?
No.
So it's, causality, dependent origination, same kind.
So I like it so much that I wanted to own it. I dislike it, and I don't want to have anything to do with it. Or, in other words, is escaping, the problems. Because the heart or mind changes and depends on the condition. The Buddha inferred this condition to be an illusion or not real. All phenomena are subject to change, so the advice is not to dwell to the conditions we're experiencing. How I felt was the feeling based on the current condition at the time. So that's the beginning. The condition is temporary and would end someday, right? The human mind or the human heart is a makeup, quote unquote, condition caused by the 6 roots and the 6 defilements or the environment. It's an environment because it's also called 六境. 六尘 is also 六境. So it does not realize that the condition comes and goes. As a result, the heart would dwell on the phenomenal conditions and would not let go. Buddha wants us to realize or 领悟, right? 原生的道理, that all conditions arises and falls, or has beginning and an end. All worldly phenomena arise out of causes and conditions. All worldly phenomena cease because of causes and conditions. It is an endless cycle. For example, a house becomes a house because it was brainstormed, right? It was designed. It was used by the materials to put together by men. However, years after, right, the house will need to be rebuilt or remodeled or gone because of the resources used on the house can be degraded over time. No form stays the same and lasts forever. In other words, there isn't a house to begin with until the steps or the process of making the house come into place. We understand the form itself is emptiness, and the emptiness itself is form, states in the Heart Sutra, right? 色即是空，空即是色. Really, there's nothing to begin with. That's what that means. What he's saying is that the house existed because the process of putting the house together took place. Even after the house is built, 100 years later, it would go back to its origin, emptiness. Lecture Liu explained it is as 幻化, or illusion. It means when nothing becomes something, that's 幻. When something becomes nothing, it's 化. Right? So not only the house we use as an example, it applies to all forms. They happened because we made them happen due to our causes formed from long ago or recent. It's the karmic affinities. Okay.
Causes and conditions that give rise to the form.
Yeah. And it's not, it doesn't happen just now. Some of them happen because long ago there was a cause there already. Okay. If there's a cause, there will be an effect. Must sincerely believe in the law of causality. Since all phenomenal forms, including our body, will go back to their origin, which we learn is emptiness, we practice not to dwell on it. See, okay. The first foundation of mindfulness is 观身不净, right? The body or the form is impure. Does not overlap. Be mindful that our body is made up with the 4 elements such as water, fire, wind, earth. Oh, by the way, when I first heard this, I had trouble accepting it. Like, you know, our body is made out of these 4 elements. But it is, right? We listen to his lecture. We know why they are made out of the 4.
We definitely have water.
Breath,
Uh,
material.
yeah. Okay.
Earth would be the element.
That's the material.
You know. Well,
Yeah.
but like
That's like
if you really
the
go,
material.
it's the chemical
Matter.
elements.
Mm.
If you really want to get technical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't dwell on the body. After the body is dead, the physical body, right, goes back to the earth.
Nitrogen.
The 4 foundations of mindfulness are the 4 areas of life to which awareness is a first step in the direction of inner freedom and free from delusion and craving. Body, feelings, mind, and object of mind or Dhamma. It's also known as the proper mindfulness of the eightfold, the noble eightfold path for cultivation. Yeah. Okay. This is really
That's
pure.
the first one. That's the first 4.
Yes.
There's-
Uh-huh. 观身不净,
Yeah,
yes.
there's 37 altogether.
So this is it's a review for guys. You
You can
guys.
skip that. No.
Yeah, I could just.
refresh.
If you don't get it the first one,
Yeah.
try to get it this time. Okay. So that mindfulness has a higher level, which is I would say it's more deeper meaning to it. Okay. So so Lecture states all phenomenal forms and nature are inherently or intrinsically or naturally empty or void. All right. 观身性相犹如虚空. Okay. All right. So, okay. To reach the Buddhahood, one needs to realize that not only we observe forms, but understand that they go back to the emptiness. However, the emptiness is the essence. Lecture Liu said in the actually he did mention everywhere, but here I specifically used the Lankavatara Sutra and the Sarugama Sutra. that all forms arise from the essence naturally, but forms themselves has no essence. Okay. And check this. Oh, okay. So this is basically what I just said.
Panchavatara, yeah.
Yeah. So 虚空无相，不拒绝诸相发挥. All right. And then in the Lankavatara Sutra, 物缘起而歸妙理. Okay, so it's very interesting.
It all comes from
So-
causal effects. It all comes from arises from causal
So
effects.
the 缘起无性. So there's no essence with the form. The form has no essence. Okay.
Yeah, so that's right. Yeah, the all dharmas have no self, no essence, no true self.
No.
It's like a projection of the essence, you could say, or a shadow of the essence. I mean, it's something that you see, but
manifestation,
it's not the
yeah.
real thing.
Well, it arises from our thought. You know, it arises from all forms. Arises from our Buddha nature thought. You know that? Yeah, that's what it is. That's
So-
essentially what it is.
All right. So yes, it is. We understand that the world is the accumulation of our collective karma and conditions for being. And therefore, we all exist on an equal plane. No one has any special circumstances or advantages. We can, however, reveal our Buddha nature and go back to our origin. We can still be liberated from all phenomenon, yet not be separated from phenomenon. 在尘不染尘. Okay. So now we understand that the human heart, the human mind, is the feedback that based on the 6 roots and the environments. The human heart, 视心, right? 视心, makes a decision based on the like or dislike. When we are in either extreme, it is to say that the karma has then created. On the other hand, the Bodhi mind, the Bodhi heart, 真心, has no like or dislike. There is no recognition of the subject or I and the object or what is being done or the process in between. The Bodhi mind, 真心, knows it's a beautiful cup, but would not dwell in favoritism. It does not dwell in duality or an instance of the opposition or contrast between the two concepts and the other on the form. We understand that everything we see, hear, smell, taste, touch, and the experienced, like the Dharma, are a form of illusion or not permanent. Our true nature sees everything as is. Sentient beings have 佛性, okay? Forms have 物性. Or here the 性 means the attributes, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
Traits, attributes.
right.
Yep.
So 佛性 is the essence which is eternal, right? 物性 has beginning and an end.
Right.
So 性 it really means that oneness. All comes from the essence of our Buddha nature. So these 3 is, you hear it over and over. 性本同体, 性本同体, 一性原明, 一真法界. So when you're able to see all that together, that means, you're in a 一真法界.
Yeah.
Okay. It's amazing. So after all, no matter is 20, 50, 100 years, all forms return to the emptiness or 虚空 or the essence. One can see, can one see emptiness? One can physically see. Otherwise, how do you know it's empty, right? One can physically see the emptiness, but does not know the emptiness is not all empty. The Buddha said the marvelous, the absolute, the oneness existed in this emptiness. It cannot be easily described because it cannot be seen and touched, but can be understood from the Buddha's teaching and individual's self-realization. 虛空 or void is our 如来藏 or 如来含藏. 含藏 means with well, you know, in the direct translation is with it's contained, right? But it's hidden. 我藏 is hidden or stored. Okay, so here 如 right? 如 is 如如不动, which means unperturbed, unmoving, non-dualistic, suchness, and thusness. Lai means appear, showing up, right? Because the need of saving the sentient beings. This is why Shakyamuni Buddha and all Buddhas are also known as Lu Lai. Lu Lai is Tathagata, or an enlightened one, and one who has attained perfection. Tathagata, Gata. All right, so the Gata means gone.
Right.
All right.
Or come and go. Yeah.
So the one who has thus gone, or it is one who has thus come.
Yeah. That's
All
what I said,
right.
come or gone. Come
Right.
and gone.
So our body is able to move and speak. It is said because of Lu Lai. Okay. This phrase, 如来含藏山河大地, right, means the essence encompasses the mountain, river, and land. In other words, all phenomena come from our essence. This is where 见性 comes to place, or the realization of one's true nature. Okay. This is also where that tri-syllogism used in Zen, okay? The first stage, one sees a mountain, is a mountain, and the river is a river, and this is before cultivation, right? Second stage, one sees a mountain is not a mountain, and a river is not a river. This is during our cultivation. That is to get rid of the forms. The third stage, a mountain again is still a mountain, and the river again is still a river. Here we understood and realized the existence of Buddha nature, or the true emptiness and the marvelous existence, or the Zenkong Miaoyu. These are the stages of our cultivation phases. When one does not dwell on like or dislike, is to say one is virtuous, or de. That is to say the cultivation is to learn how we use our Bodhi mind to all matters and people we're dealing with during our daily life. We face all challenges, but understood they are only temporary. We let go of all matters and challenges once we overcome all obstacles. 是来则应，是去则进。Okay. Merits will be there if we perform the meritorious service, such as practice letting go of all karmic affinities and do not give rise to a single thought. Because everything we do from this point on, we no longer dwell on the two extreme sides. We will have the proper mindset because with the help of our marvelous wisdom, we will make the right choices and decisions. Our true nature knows how to handle all matters. Matters include action and speech in accordance to our Buddha nature. We have to understand here the practice of letting go is to reveal one's true nature, or 见性. Once the true nature is revealed, the actions follow the true nature are naturally not deviate from the Tao. Further, at the time, our marvelous wisdom coexists with our true nature. So, last class, what was mentioned with that word? That this is a test. See if you pay attention last class. When they coexist, what do you call them?
Concomitant.
Thank you. Yes. Concomitants, right? Okay. So when the true nature is in charge, its marvelous wisdom knows immediately how best to handle in situations. Okay. It will not be in the favor of anything because of any personal reasons. Its direction of handling all matters falls to the middle path or become virtuous act or behaviors. Lecturer said, we must learn to treat everything with no bias, no matter it is men to men and men to objects. Men to men is obvious, right? Everyone is to be treated equally or fairly. Everyone treat everyone with care and respect. When we take men to object, when we take care of the things that are around us, such as planet, plants, furniture, books, public goods, etc., is known to be caring and respectful. Part of the understanding of equanimity is when one understands the law of a cause and effect. What goes around comes around. Part of our cultivation is to avoid creating more or new bad karma or karma. Everything we do and say are to follow the law of natural nature, to law the nature or principles, which means in accordance to our true nature. Virtue is the manifestation of the true nature, or 良知良能, right? The innate knowledge and the ability of ethics and morality. All action therefore become praiseworthy then when they are beneficial to sentient beings naturally. Buddhas are described as to have 恒沙妙德, which means countless virtue is like the countless sand. Countless virtue is the manifestation of the marvelous 妙, the true nature. It's like the countless sand.
Yeah, the Hansa, it's mentioned in different sutras. Diamond Sutra is one of them. It's really, right, talking about the sand, right? The sand along the river banks of the Ganges River, example, right? Isn't that right?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's countless, right?
It
That's
is countless,
right,
yeah.
It's, I mean, just
Okay.
that's what it, the metaphor is. Right?
Yes, it is. It's describing they have countless virtues. Lecturer said that our essence equipped or embedded with Dao De Jing over here. So we all have the innate and Dao De Jing. What, chapter 2 was taught a week before, right? All right, so lecturer said that essence equipped or embedded with Dao De Jing. We all have the innate knowledge and ability of ethics and morality. Innate is the Dao. When we are in accordance with our innate, we have de or virtue. Then we continue our actions in accordance with our innate is jing, which means that we are on the path to reach the Buddhahood. Okay. To practice Dao De Jing, one does not need to be in a particular location or be in a state of meditation. It takes place during our daily life. We become virtuous by making the right choices until it becomes second nature to us, until it is the core of our character. It begins with the correcting one's own problems and get rid of temperament. 改毛病去毛气的去脾气。It begins with paying attention of one's mind. Know what the mind is thinking, because all actions begin with a thought. All actions can soon become one's habits, right? If one is not aware with one's thoughts, one's character will soon form by one's character will soon form by one's habits. If one is not cautious about one's actions. Okay. Once one's character is formed, the fate changes. Therefore, a direct connection is formed from the thought to the fate. The purpose of learning about the true principles of Buddha nature is to assimilate it or to put it into practice during our daily life. So all of our actions are in accordance to our true nature. This is an important understanding as a part of the 心明 or the true mind or true heart. So, Lao Tzu, right? Lao Tzu said, "Do not dwell on the success or the."
Second chapter.
That's right. He didn't get a chance to finish that last week.
Yeah, I didn't.
功成而不居, right? It means do not dwell on the success or the meritorious services. And then 老前人 here said, pushover, 推功揽过, pushover or pass on, okay? Pass on and let others take on the merits or shift credit to others and take on the blame on oneself. Okay, 推功揽过. All right.
Yeah, I have that too in my house.
Oh, yes.
Stinks. I didn't get a chance to finish.
See, I help you to complete.
Yeah, see?
Okay. So, in other words, you did the meritorious services, but you don't claim that you did. Both Lao Tzu and grand predecessor is referring what is called 无为. Here, 为 means intent,
Right.
all right? Or 无所作为,
Right. Same thing. Same thing.
or doing without any motive or intention. Okay. Mirrors are performed through the three important human relations called three by coincidence, really. Okay, so mirrors are performed through the three important human relations called the three fundamental bonds, three mainstays of social order, or it's called three cardinal guides, and using the understanding of the five constant virtues of Confucius, 三纲五常, right? So, 三纲五常 is an expression that sums up a Confucian doctrine that was designed to guide people's behavior and aspiration in traditional China. The three fundamental bonds deal with the traditional society's most fundamental social relationship, like sovereign and minister, or leader and we call it leader and follower. Okay, father and son, husband and wife. Okay, that's 三纲, right? All right, so the sovereign father and husband represent the yin, and the minister's son and wife represent the yang. So the yin and yang, yin, yang. Okay, yin and yang formed Taiji. So by the Song Dynasty, Zhu Xi puts them as a cosmological principles. And I thought this is interesting. Within the cosmos, there is but one eternal principle. Heaven, by getting hold of it, becomes heaven. Earth, by getting hold of it, becomes earth. All things which live between heaven and earth, by getting hold of it, become what they are. Expanded, it becomes the three bonds. Elaborated, it becomes the five constants. All these are the principle of operation. Wherever one goes, it is there. Hence, heaven, earth, and the three fundamental bonds and five constant virtues composed the universe. Clearly, these human relationships and virtues were the most important characteristics of mankind. Goodness is born out of these virtues. So, to become a sage, it is essential that one practices them. The five constant virtues, okay, are benevolence, righteousness, propriety, wisdom, and trustworthiness. In other words, these three fundamental bonds designated the social relationship that are essential for structuring human social life, while the five constant virtues are the values needed to live a moral life. In the doctrine of Ming, Mencius has said between the father and the son there should be affection. Between the sovereign and minister, there's righteousness. Between husband and wife, attention to their separate functions. Like father has his role and the mother has his role in the family. And between old and young, a proper order. And between friends, fidelity. Okay? These are the Wulun. And then Wulun always come with Ba De. It's the 8 virtues, right? 8 cardinal virtues is filial piety, brotherly love, trustfulness, propriety, courtesy, righteousness, integrity, and sense of shame. We can also see them in the commentary on the principles of Tao, Dao Zi Zong Zi, right? Number 10, it says what? Expound upon the five bounds of human relationship and the 8 cardinal virtues. 讲明五伦八德. It also shows in the number 12, says to obey and respectfully practice the 四维 4 ethical principles, and 三纲 the 3 mainstay of social order, and the 5 constant virtues 五常. Okay, so did I? Okay. So blessings are naturally followed by merits. It is important to have merits, but we don't dwell on the performance of the services. We do it and we let it go. We don't brag about it, we move on and continue the habit of helping others if it's within our own abilities. Also, be sure to practice letting go all karmic affinities and do not give rise to a single thought each day. As a result of this practice, one's action and speech will be in accordance to the Buddha nature. While they are in accordance, one will no longer be in samsara. The commander of these actions and speech is no longer the 6 roots. Isn't that wonderful? Let's think about this. We have the blessings from the heaven. We have the blessings from the Buddhas to receive Tao, and given the opportunity to learn about the universal truth principles and cultivate to become like the Buddha someday. Years ago, Transmitter Lin from Texas said that there are 5 angels around us each day. I don't remember who are those 5. So when he says that to you, it really tells you that don't worry. Don't worry, that's what he says. Don't worry, all right? We always have this 5 angel with us every day. So we are thankful to have the blessings from the Buddhas from all directions, the Shifang Zhufu and our Heavenly Mother, Lao Mu. All right, so as one can see, in conclusion here, as one can see, merits and blessings come hand in hand. We keep on doing what needs to be done for the sentient beings and not to dwell on the services performed. We bravely face the obstacles and challenges that come to our life. We happily accept and deal with them with no complaints. We understand the law of causality and how our true heart is not based on the 6 roots and defilements. We practice letting go of all karmic affinities and do not give rise to a single thought to reveal the true nature. We learn about the principles of nature from Buddha's teaching and put them into practice during our daily life. We thank to the grace of heaven and the virtuous masters and repent of what we have done and will not repeat the mistakes. We are mindful about all forms are emptiness, and emptiness is the essence. We are happy every day that we are still alive because we can cultivate and to believe and to have faith that we can become like a Buddha. That concludes my presentation on merits and blessings. I ask Buddhas for the forgiveness and everyone here for correction if I have said anything that is incorrect or incomplete information. Anybody? I don't know if we have time. Does anyone? We have time?
Just started the style ceremony.
Oh, okay.
Ready?
So, does anybody want to like share their blessings?
I have a question.
Sure.
When you do the letting go every night, do you focus on the point, or you just your eyes are broad?
It's probably everyone is different, but from Lecho Liu, I remember hearing that he did tell us to what we can do is you can focus on your first treasure. That's one way to do.
Will you do the letting go?
Yeah. Or you can just focus on something, like one thing.
Because I notice when we focus too long, that form will change.
Oh yeah, of course.
So- And do we just, because our eyes would naturally blink, so we blink, the form will changes.
That's what's tricky about it. That's where we need to keep on practicing until we notice that there are other thoughts that's appearing, reappearing, or the old one goes and new one comes. That continuous, even you can't see, but you can see it in your head. So that's the part that we need to focus to let it go. Oh, okay. So he said, if you do see something in your head, right? Let's say you see the first image coming. You just look at that first image and do not let it progress. You know how that one image doesn't, like you said, right? That one point does not stay still. Fine, but you have to try to not to let it evolve to a different image.
Focus.
That's
Not to
the
differentiate into the detail of
you don't want it to expand to a different the next step.
I notice how I do it is I try to be still, and then I see all the forms, they appear, they disappear. I try not to focus on that. I just concentrate what I'm doing. Even though the form may be changing, these thoughts coming, and
So you just
things-
let it go. You just let
Yeah.
it go.
Yeah, I let it
pursue.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I find help, because I've been having a lot of problems to do it for in span of time. It's like, if, for instance, if I'm concentrating on the screen and another thought comes up, I try to sort of bypass or just leave that and go back, try to remember where I was before that thought or whatever came. And once I get to that stage where, or the last part I was before, that new thought just sort of disappeared.
I think when we try to focus or try to analyze, then it becomes difficult. We have to let go of whatever comes up. Let go.
You let it be.
Yeah.
You basically let it be.
Let it be, and if certain thing come up, and don't try to analyze it.
No, you don't.
No,
Yeah.
don't,
Yeah.
just don't dwell on it. Ignore it. Right?
Yeah.
Ignore it.
Kind of acknowledge and
I-
Yeah. No, you're aware, but then don't. That's
don't
it. Stop there.
right. Don't make any analysis. Don't make a further.
No, don't make even a judgment.
Right.
Don't-
No judgment.
None of
Right.
None of that.
because I noticed when this test came to me, I mean, I know all these knowledge in my head, but when it comes to
Practice, yeah.
I was
yeah.
trying to face, like, challenge it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it just went off.
You're trying to confront it.
Yeah.
Don't confront it.
And
No,
it went out of control.
No action need to be taken though. Really,
Uh-huh.
it shouldn't. You know it's there and it's there.
You're just aware. You're just aware because Buddha nature is
So,
aware.
yeah, so what Johnny is saying, yeah, don't try to even, you
So-
have certain thing there, but it went off, don't try to go back, don't,
So,
just
but-
let it go.
Okay, he said don't use another image to replace the other image.
Right.
Don't.
Right.
You're just aware that they're there.
Yeah, because that's what when it comes, that practice is very, practice makes it more, makes us more confident. Because when I didn't have that practice when it came to me, I was trying to resolve, but then that's not the way to resolve. And it just, it just,
Yeah, because you're thinking about, okay, what can I do to resolve this? That's a thought right there.
Yeah.
That's a thought right there already.
Your mind is aroused and stirred thoughts. 起心动念
Carrie, you're gonna say something.
Oh, my question, my answer has passed already.
Uh-oh.
I guess it's just like, I guess in your mind you see like maybe you have this image and then like just pop out and then just let's say there's a girl coming and then you don't just follow the girl's going to the tunnel, you don't follow the girl, you just see, oh, that's it, pass by, that's it, right? But you don't go follow it into
No,
the detail.
yeah, when you
to the
follow it, it creates a different image for you. And then it's just gonna continue nonstop. So that's the part that we want to try to let
No, you
go.
want to cut it off. You want-
Yeah, well, we want to let it go.
yeah, we want to acknowledge and just put it there.
And that's it.
Yeah,
That's
just
you
acknowledge
acknowledge
it.
it,
Yeah,
it
that's it.
exists.
You're aware, and then that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
Nothing-
it. That's it.
nothing-
Nothing follow.
Nothing.
You follow, then
Yeah.
you're gonna have thoughts.
Yes,
That's the
So
problem.
if we're using Carrie's example, you see a girl right coming in your mind. That's it. You see a girl.
that's it.
That's just the girl. That girl.
Don't
It's just
follow
it's
the
just
girl to the tunnel.
right. Or you don't continue imagining what the
Don't
girl's going to
wonder What's it
do.
about? all
Right.
No, none of that.
Don't wonder
No.
where she's going.
No, you don't wander around.
That's
You
right.
don't. So there's no next step.
Wondering,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
Any,
there's
any
no-
wondering is the 起心动念.
There's no-
It's the
Exactly.
thought.
Yeah.
That's
So
what I'm
so you're
There's no-
stirred.
There's
You
no
don't-
next step, right? That's what I'm
No,
saying.
it's
Because if you did next step, then that's when you have 起心动念. That's what I'm
that's
trying to
right.
say.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
So
aroused mind.
as in, like we acknowledge,
That's it.
yeah.
You acknowledge.
We're not even trying to let go, just
Yeah.
acknowledge.
Yeah, you're just aware.
Yeah.
You acknowledge.
Acknowledge,
Oh.
I guess,
When you acknowledge, it goes.
yeah.
It will go
Yeah.
because you acknowledged it, and you don't do
No,
any
you should
just
recognize it.
right. You don't do any justification. You don't do any analogy
No,
or
definitely
ana-
no analysis.
so no those things.
You just,
But it's,
Yeah.
you just
You just know it's there.
Yeah, once we do it, I guess that awareness just, so.
Yeah,
it gets very subtle. That's the key. That's what we're all going to. Very
right.
subtle,
And then
subtle.
after a while, you'll start to
It's like
notice
attached to a point.
all they they will surface,
But you attach
but then
to a point.
they will disappear.
attached to the
They
girl.
surface, they disappear.
It's all
They
in-
have to. Liu Zu say what? 念念
Yeah,
was
that's
it?
right. Yeah.
That's the manifestation.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
just
yeah,
the function of the Buddha
练
nature.
练成型
No,
No.
no.
We just
What
have
is
to
it?
know how
It,
it is.
it's just the way it is. That's your Buddha nature's. That's the manifestation of your Buddha nature. It does that.
Yeah, one-
So there's no. You don't want to. 念 you don't want to take another thought to cover that thought or like
Oh, to follow it. To follow.
念
Another thought.
I forgot but
Continue.
But
Continue.
念念
练
无
成
习
型
啊
also makes sense because
练
every
念
thought
无习
can become a form.
so it's basically saying it's non-stop
Right.
because it's just non-stop
Yeah.
yeah
念 she something. All right, let's go. Let's go.
thank you